Okay, so in this video, I'm going to show you how to navigate the library website to find articles and resources for your legislative process research paper. I'm going to start by clicking on, from library.fiu.edu, I'm going to click on Research Tools, and then A to Z Databases and Resources List. Then over under Browse by Subject, I'm going to scroll down to Politics and International Relations. From there, I'm going to scroll down and click Resources for the Legislative Process Research Paper. What you find here is a guide specifically for your course to be successful in writing your research paper. The exact URL is libguides.fiu.edu/legislative process paper. What you find in here is lots of resources to help you find articles and research you'll need for this paper. First thing you'll need to do is click on the Off-Campus Access button and connect from off-campus using your FIU email username and password. Then come back to this guide, and if you are still trying to identify an issue to write about, there are some resources here that can help you. For example, I'm going to go ahead and click on CQ Researcher. What this is, the Congressional Quarterly Researcher. So what you can see is what is being written in the Congressional Quarterly Researcher. It'll give you some ideas for topics. You can browse through topics, you can browse through reports, you can look at the featured reports. For example, this one's on the national parks. I'm going to go ahead and click on the link. And what you get is a really good exhaustive report on the national parks. You get an introduction, overview, background, and so on and so forth. The pros and cons of the situation, chronology, some really great information that'll help you with your research project. If you decide to use one of these reports in here, you need to cite your source, of course. You can click on Cite Now, and by default it's APA style. You can copy and paste this into your reference list. Using MLA style, there's an option for that as well. So that's the Congressional Quarterly Researcher. I'm going to go ahead and go back to our guide, and I'm going to go ahead and click on Find Articles. What you're going to find here are some databases and resources that will help you find the references that you'll need for your annotated bibliography. I'm going to go ahead and just click on the first one here, Worldwide Political Science Abstracts. And I'm going to clear my search and start over. So I'm going to stick with our search of national parks, and I'm going to click Search. When I do that, I get 1,107 results. That's way too many results to go through. So when you get too many results, what you need to do is AND your search. So I'm going to say National Parks and United States, because I want the national parks in the United States. Because if you look at the first one here, it's in actually South Africa. So AND is a way to narrow or focus your search. When you use AND, it's telling the database that national parks has to show up with United States. And if they both don't show up, I don't want to see them in the results. So AND narrows your search, and as you probably can guess, OR broadens your search. So if you're not getting enough results, think of what other terms mean the same thing or similar meaning and put an OR between the terms. So let's go ahead and click Search again, and I get 595 results. Still quite a few. Let's go ahead and just take a look here. I can go through them and see if there's anything that looks good. What I recommend is going through the first 20 results to see if something looks good. And if not, then you think about what other terms can you use that mean the same thing. Alright, scrolling down here, I'm at the bottom of the page, but number 19 looks really good. Environmental protection, population change, and economic development in the rural western United States. Notice I have the link to the citation abstract, a link to the full text in two different ways. So I can click on the full text, read the article, and go ahead and use this information for my research project. For now, I'm going to go ahead and click on the citation abstract link though. So I want to show you what you find when you do that. You find information about the article. You find an abstract. So it's always useful if there's an abstract to read through the abstract to see if it's relevant to your project and your research paper that you're writing. If you determine it is, then you can click on the full text over here. Another thing I want to quickly point out to you are the subject terms. Subject terms are much like tagging in Facebook or using hashtags in Twitter. What basically a subject term is, identify what the article is about. So when you find a subject term that's right on target, you can click on that subject term and redo your search based on the subject terms that are listed. And finally, the other thing I want to show you really quickly is that you'll need to cite your source, of course. we have something called cite right here. APA is default, MLA is also an option. You can copy and paste it. Just remember it is computer generated, check for mistakes. Let me go ahead and go back to my results. And then if we go through the results again, we might find other things that look good. But there's not a link to the full text. Let me just scroll through here. And yeah, some of the things look good. GOP vows to take pork out of parks. That might be interesting because I need to do a historical perspective as well, and that's from 1995. So if I wanted to find this, notice there is not a link to the full text. So what I can do here is click on Find It at FIU, which will open a new window. And when we get this message, we're not happy, but there is a solution. So this is saying that the article is not online, which you can do if you really want the article. Scroll down and click Interlibrary Loan and fill out a request, and it'll be sent to you electronically by email. But it does take about at least 5 working days, so keep that in mind. Let's go ahead and go back. I want to show you what it looks like when the full text is available. Let me see here. Just trying to find something else that might look good. Let me scroll back up here. Maybe number 13, United States Army Natural Resources and Political Development in the 19th Century. That might be giving me a little bit of a historical perspective as well. So if I want to find that, click on Find It at FIU, and let's hope we have better luck this time. Okay, so in this case, we're happy because we have the Get Article link. So you click on the Get Article, and it takes you to a different database, and then in this case, you click on View PDF to get to the full text of the article. So just remember that Find It at FIU button can be very useful. Okay, I'm going to go back here to our guide. Actually, let me go back. I got to show you one more thing when searching. We got 595 results. That's a lot of results. If we want to further narrow that, we can always click the peer-reviewed box. And that'll just limit it to the scholarly materials and refines our search even more. In this case, we got 319 results. If you want to learn more about peer-reviewed, you can go back to our guide and check out some of the resources and tutorials there on peer review. I'm going to go back over here though because I do want to show you CiteWrite. Not only do you have to do your reference list for your paper, but you also have to do in-text citations. If you need help with in-text citations, I provided links here to them through help sources. Need help with APA in-text citations from the Purdue OWL APA formatting. It's a great guide if you want to go through and spend time here. But I just want to show you that there is a link to in-text citations author/authors. This shows you how to do citations by 2 authors, 3 to 5 authors, and more. And there's also one for MLA over on the right-hand side. Finally, under CiteWrite, there's links to MLA and APA. And what you're going to find in both of these, one for APA is the samples of journal article references, books references, website references. So you can double check what you get from the database with these actual citations. Make sure that it's in the right format and the capital letters are where they're supposed to be and so on and so forth. I recommend taking some time reviewing the tutorials and the videos in the Prevent Plagiarism tab because even if you unintentionally plagiarize, it's still considered plagiarism. And finally, I want to show you, if you need help, contact us. We're here to help you. This is me on the left-hand side. I'm Sarah Hamill, and that's my phone number and my email. Send me an email, ask me a question. Sometimes it just takes another person to kind of go over what you're thinking and strategize with you and help you define your search a little bit or identify a database that's appropriate for your research. I hope this was useful. Happy researching.